Whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a great millstone were put around his neck and you were thrown into the sea." Rarely does Jesus use such harsh words when he speaks to us, except when he's trying to teach us a lesson. ¿Y cuál es la lección de este evangelio? Don't lead people to sin. Muy fácil. Don't teach your children to sin. Alguna vez, muy fácil. Pero sí es muy fácil porque nuestros hijos tienen problemas con pecados. We forget many times that sin, vices, are learned from somewhere. Right? And many times there's the old saying, actions speak louder than words. So our children are learning to sin from someone, whether it be from the TV, from school, de nuestros padres o padrinos. Sí somos pecadores, pero necesitamos cambiar por nuestros niños. We have to change for them. Because if we showed them how we live in sin, they are going to choose to live in sin as well. And so Jesus in today's gospel says, if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. Now, he doesn't really mean go take a knife and just cut your hand off. That's not what he means. He doesn't mean chop your foot off. He doesn't mean poke your eye out. No. Pero hay algunas cosas en nuestros mundos y en nuestras vidas que están contra la vida y el amor de Dios. Those are what we need to cut from our life. If, when I go to work, it's easy for me to cuss, it's easy for me to talk badly, look for a different job. If, when I go to school and I'm around this certain group of friends, it's easy for me to bully somebody, cut off those relationships. If there are people in my life that don't lead me to God, cut off those relationships. También es muy fácil, pero para vivir es muy difícil. Because we're going to be judged by those around us, and our families, our friends, our co-workers, our bosses. They're going to look at us and say, how dare you think you're better than everybody else? That's not what it's about. ¿Cuál es más importante? Your family and your friends judging you unfairly, or God judging you as you should be judged? ¿Cuál prefieres? Pienso que el primero. Because we don't deserve God's love. We don't deserve to go to heaven. Pero gracias a Dios es una opción por cristianos. Porque Dios nos ama y danos su Hijo. El cuerpo y la sangre de Cristo es una invitación por todos de nosotros en esta vida para experiencia un poquito parte del cielo. Pero por muchos de nosotros no es suficiente. ¿En serio? Es difícil para decir esto, ¿sí? Pero nuestras acciones, they show us that. Que no creemos en el evangelio. Porque si creemos, la iglesia siempre no hay espacio por mucha gente, por más gente. Pero pienso que hay espacio. But thank you for being here this evening. Many times in life, nuestras preocupaciones, they don't embrace the love of God. In fact, this evening, I talked at the 5 o'clock Mass about how weekends like this are difficult for me as a priest. Porque hay demasiadas acciones afuera de la iglesia este fin de semana. Softball tournaments, baseball tournaments. OU was in the third quarter during the Mass at 5 o'clock today. And we had just not scored. And Mass started. It's like, oh no. Canute Days is going on tonight. In fact, mañana, durante misa aquí, there's a softball game between Canute and Elk City. ¿En serio? ¿Por qué? Porque por el mundo, la primera opción no es Dios. Pero nosotros vivimos en el mundo. Pero recuerden que Dios nos dijo, live in the world, be not of the world. Existimos en el mundo, por supuesto. But if our first goal and our first relationship isn't God, we should never ask the question why things are going badly. Never. In fact, this afternoon, I was looking on Facebook and reading through an article about a 15-year-old who had decided he was going to be an atheist. Because by the age of 15, two of his best friends, not one, but two of his best friends had been killed. And he said, if God really is all-knowing, all-loving, all-compassionate, all-merciful, all-forgiving, why would he allow them to die so young? Es una buena pregunta. And for most of us, we have a question somewhat like this, muy similar. And it goes like this. Why do bad things happen to good people? If God really loved us, wouldn't he just stop them from happening to good people? If you weren't paying attention, I'm looking at the cross. There's been no greater person in the history of existence than Jesus the Christ. We see la via de la cruz cada vez que entramos la iglesia. And yet, our minds ask that question. Why do bad things happen to good people if God is truly all-knowing and all-loving? God doesn't will it. He doesn't force it. He doesn't make it happen, but he allows it to happen. Why? The most frustrating answer ever. Free will. Because God loves you so much, he allows you to choose la opuesta de su amor. Think about that for a second. God loves you so much that he will let you go to hell. He doesn't want you to go to hell. He doesn't will that you do. He doesn't want you to sin. He doesn't will that you sin, but he allows you to. Why? Because love, as we hear of from St. Paul, must allow choice. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love doesn't judge. Love, amor, es perfecta. Solo con Dios. Pero nuestra experiencia de amor, es obvio, es imperfecta. And so our judgment then of God, who is love, is just as imperfect and flawed. You know, many of our young people don't want to be here tonight. Don't raise your hands. But many of our young people are here tonight because mom and dad have a relationship with God, or mom and dad want to have a relationship with God, or mom and dad hope that you have a relationship with God. Because they know what the world is like when it denies God. Because most of us, I include myself in that, have denied God at some point in our own lives. And we have seen what life is like with God, and what life is like when we keep God out of the picture. Being a Catholic, being a Christian, doesn't mean that life is going to be easy. No. If you think that, pray the Station of the Cross again. Pero la vida de un cristiano, de un católico, es muy difícil. It's actually more difficult to be a faithful Catholic because we have to do so with humility. We have to do so out of love. We have to do so with compassion and with mercy. Christ tells us to love our enemies. I don't like my enemies. My enemies don't like me. You want me to love them, God? Sí. No. No me gusto. Lo siento. Why does he want us to love our enemies? ¿Por qué? Porque nuestros enemigos están hijos de Dios también. Y creados en la misma imagen de Dios que nosotros. Entonces, nuestra pregunta, ¿por qué malas cosas por buena gente? Es incorrecta. Porque cada vez que hay malas cosas en una vida, es para una buena persona. Porque nuestras acciones no identificarnos. Nuestra primera identificación es como un hijo de Dios, primeramente. Segundo, nuestro nombre, por supuesto. And everything else no me importa, si no es con la visión de Dios. Este es el Evangelio de Dios. Nada más. We make it too hard. Pero la vida de un cristiano no es simple, pero es fácil. Tengan amor. That's it. Es todo. Love your neighbor. Let God love you. Porque cada de los decimientos, de los mandamientos, you can see through the love of God. Los de ser primeros, amor con Dios. Los últimos, amor con la gente de Dios. Oh. Sí, es fácil, pero es muy difícil para vivir. Because we make it too hard. We are just like the prophets were in the first reading today, where they go to Moses and say, these men that weren't blessed like we were, they are out prophesying. Let them preach. Or in today's gospel, these men are out delivering people from demons in your name, but they don't follow us. What did Jesus say about it? Está bien. Because if the Father didn't will it, it wouldn't happen. And it's interesting the way that Jesus says it, because it's the exact opposite of how we say it. Whatever we say is, if you're not for me, you're against me. How does Jesus say it today? He says, whoever isn't against us is for us. There's a difference in saying that. If you're not actually, actively contra nosotros, estamos juntos. Es diferente que if you're not with us, you're against us. ¿Entienden la diferencia? Es un poquito, pero es muy importante. One is a positive, the other is a negative. We live as if you aren't with me, you're against me. But Jesus is calling us to look at it through a more loving lens, that as long as you're not purposely attacking me, no me importa. Está bien. Y con esta visión podamos entender los otros iglesias cristianos, quien crean en Evangelio, en la Biblia, quien creen en la Trinidad, no en todas de las partes de la Iglesia Católica, pero en algunas partes, en el sacramento de bautismo, y solo hay un bautismo por toda la gente. Yo te bautizo en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo, es válido. En la Iglesia Católica y otras iglesias es válido. Es suficiente. Sí, Padre, pero hay algunos cristianos quien predicar esto, eso, no me importa. Porque primeramente, predicar el amor de Dios. Now, I am not saying go to another church. No. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that other churches that they have the fullness of the Catholic Church. I am not saying that. Facebook Live, I am not saying that. What I'm saying, though, is that goodness resides, bless you, where God resides. And what did the Lord tell us about this? Wherever two or more are gathered in mi nombre, existo en este espacio, there I am in their midst. Whether you're a Catholic or not, if you are present in the name of Jesus Christ, you're proclaiming the gospel. It may be an imperfect gospel, but if you're leading people to the Lord, ayúdame, por favor. Because I can't do it by myself. Necesito su ayuda en nuestra parte de nuestro país. Porque solo una persona. Y mi español es muy feo. Pero hay mucha gente afuera de la iglesia esta noche que no saben que Dios tiene amor con ustedes. They don't know that God actually loves them. Pienso que es porque algunos de nosotros, si pensamos sobre esta idea, pero no creemos en total. Y está bien. Hay tiempo. No hay mucho, pero hay tiempo. Pero hay dos cosas por todos de nosotros que nosotros no podamos escape. I don't think that's the right word. That's the word I'm using. We can't escape two things. Primero, taxes. Oh, no me gusta. But we all have taxes, right? ¿Y cuál es la segunda? Muerte. Death and taxes. The two things that are coming for us all, whether we want them or not. No matter how hard we try, we cannot escape them. So instead of fleeing from death, necesitamos vivir nuestra muerte con amor, con esperanza y con fe. Y empezamos esta noche nueva. Porque no podamos cambiar nuestro pasado. Solo podamos aprender una cosa y un lado diferente. Y es nuestra oportunidad hoy para cambiar. Y mañana para continuar esta combinación. I think that's the right word. Continuación. Pero es nuestra opción personal. God first chose you. Ahora es su opción to choose him or to choose sin. Solo hay las dos opciones. Amor o pecado. ¿Cuál elegimos?